Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Tuesday, January the 18th. Now we just got a little two-game slate for Tuesday, so this is going to be a fairly quick video. We're just going to go through and kind of talk through these two games, talk through the slate in general, what stands out to me, taking a first look on Monday night. We'll go through each game and talk about each team, what I do like at first look. But before we do get started with the video, guys, as always, please do hit the like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes. If you're new to the channel and you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button as well. I'm trying to upload a lot of NBA content to this channel, getting up videos basically every weekday, Monday through Friday. I'm streaming as well an hour before lock, Monday through Friday. I will be live an hour before lock to talk through this slate with you guys. If you ever need questions answered, if you ever have any lineup-specific questions, 1v1s, 2v2s, whatever it may be, you can always ask those in the live stream. It's more of a Q&A based stream, so check that out. Tune in an hour before lock. I will be live on my channel to talk through this two-gamer with you guys. And also, if you are new here, go check out the sponsor of this video, PrizePicks. So PrizePicks, they're a player prop-based DFS site. It's very simple. You're just picking the over or the under on players' projections. They do already have pretty much their entire board except the fantasy point projections posted for Tuesday's game. Since it is or Tuesday's slate, and since we only have two games, it's there's not going to be a ton of options. These are all the options that are available right now. They'll probably post more stuff as we do get closer to tip-off Tuesday night. They'll add fantasy point projections. It might add some more props as well. But again, it's very simple. You just pick the over or the under on players' projections. You have to make at least 2 picks. You can make up to 5 picks. You can win up to 10 extra money on PrizePicks. You can mix and match sports. They do offer a lot of other sports outside of NBA, NFL, college basketball, soccer, tennis. They offer basically every sport imaginable. So if you want to check out PrizePicks, guys, go sign up over there. Use code NOAH, and they will match your first deposit. They will give you a free bet up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. And if you guys do want my favorite plays on PrizePicks each day, along with the entries that I'm playing myself, I give those all out on Patreon. All my updated DFS content, along with my PrizePick plays, they're all available on Patreon. You can check that out. It's linked down below in the description, if you are interested. But let's run through this two-gamer real quick, guys. We're going to start off with the first game of the night, Minnesota and New York. So this is a two-game slate where we do have one game after the other. So you'll have the first game of the night starts at 7:30 Eastern, and then the next game is going to be after that, starts at 10 Eastern. Minnesota and New York, though, first game of the night. We'll start off on the Minnesota side. So Minnesota pretty much fully healthy for today. The only guy that's on the injury report is Jalen Noel, and I'm pretty sure he's probable. Yeah, he's probable, so he's expected to play. So we're basically going to get Minnesota at full strength here. When Minnesota's at full strength, there normally are not a ton of guys that stand out as like great plays, especially when the pricing is accurate. But obviously on a two-game slate, we got to look to these guys. So I think Karl-Anthony Towns at 10,200. If you look at the stud options today, you're basically looking at guys like Steph Curry, Cat, or Julius Randle. Like those are our pay-up options for today. I think this is definitely a slate where you could go balanced. You don't have to pay up for any one of these top-tier studs. But I think Cat does look pretty solid here. I definitely like the matchup against the Knicks. The Knicks haven't been as good defensively this year as they were in last season and in previous seasons. We know Cat's going to get big minutes. We know he's going to play a ton if the game stays close. He does offer some upside. Normally Cat's a guy that I really haven't played much this season, but I think on this slate specifically with the lack of pay-up options, he does stand out as a pretty strong guy to go to. We know Cat pretty much has like a 40-point floor, offers 50, 60-point upside if things really go his way. I like Cat quite a bit at 10-2. He's for sure my favorite play from this Minnesota team. If you want to go to Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo Russell, I think both those guys are fine options as well. Both at their price points don't stand out to me. 8,600 for Ant, I think that's a price tag that's appropriate. I think D'Angelo Russell at 8,200 is probably priced where he should be as well. But we could basically say that about everyone on this slate. There's not a ton of guys that stand out as being glaringly underpriced today. There's not going to be a ton of standout plays today. It's kind of just play whoever you want. So I think Ant and D'Angelo Russell both offer upside. If you want to go there, I think it's totally fine. Jared Vanderbilt at 5,700, I'm not too interested in. Now, Jared Vanderbilt has seen his minutes be pretty consistent as of late, but you're definitely paying max price for him. He's had some big games against Houston, 59 DK points, against OKC, 42 DK points. But I think those are definitely outliers. You look at his last 10 games, he doesn't have a single game over 20 or over 30 DraftKings points except for those two. So normally Vanderbilt's going to play 25, 30 minutes and score, 25, 30 DraftKings points. At 5,700, that's just not good enough. Vanderbilt's shown a big ceiling, but I think at this price tag, he's just kind of like a low-owned dart throw for me. I think Patrick Beverley is a fine guard option at 5,500. Patrick Beverley going to start, play around 30 minutes. Not the best point per minute player, but again, on this slate with a ton of, or with not a ton of standout plays, Beverly is someone that I think is viable. And outside of like Beverly and outside of the starters, like I don't see too much else I like from Minnesota. Malik Beasley always can, get hot off the bench, but his minutes aren't going to be that great. He probably plays around like 25, 26 minutes at 4,400. Like I think he's fine. If you want to go there, if I was going to play someone off the bench for Minnesota, it probably would be Malik Beasley. I don't think I'd be going to anyone else on this team. It is a 2-game slate, so you can always, look to get different, look to get, roster a guy that maybe needs something to go right to get there. But like in a scenario where maybe Karl Anthony Towns gets in foul trouble, that would definitely benefit someone like Naz Reid. I mean, if you want to roster Naz Reid today and just hope that happens, I guess it's something you could do on a 2-game slate. But really, I think the starters plus Beasley are kind of where I'm looking to from this Minnesota team. Now, on the Knicks side, talking about the Knicks here, we will need to monitor the status of Kemba Walker. Kind of a big injury. Kemba's been out for a while now. He's been out for almost a month. He's questionable once again. He did not play on Monday. This is a back-to-back for the Knicks. They did play Monday, and Kemba was out Monday. I'm guessing Kemba's just going to be out again. So, with Kemba out, we've seen them start Alec Burks at point guard as of late. Now, he did not play many minutes in Monday's game against Charlotte. He only played 26 minutes. I don't think he played much in the fourth quarter, though. I don't think many of the starters played in the fourth quarter. They just kind of played their bench the entire fourth. I think Burks at 6,500 is a fine option because most nights he is going to play, mid to high 30s minutes and start at point guard while Kemba's out. So if Kemba remains out, I think Burks is viable. I think Julius Randle is a pay-up option. With the lack of studs on the slate, you're looking to guys like Cat, Steph, Julius Randle as your pay-up options today. Julius Randle at 9,200. The price tag looks good. The production from Julius Randle has not been great lately. I mean, you look at his game log, it is not pretty. Only one game over 50 Draftkings points out of his last 10. So he's definitely been underperforming, but we know Julius Randle does still have upside. We know he is going to play a lot of minutes if the game stays close. He played 31 minutes against Charlotte Monday, and that was without him playing any minutes in the fourth quarter. So I think Julius Randle at 9,200 is a fine pay-up option, obviously. RJ Barrett, though, he's a guy that I do like quite a bit on this slate. Now, RJ Barrett has kind of turned a corner as of late. He's been performing at a really high level. He's been playing big minutes as well. His usage has gone up. He's been taking a ton of shots. He's been rebounding a lot. He's just been contributing in all categories. Been really productive. Been playing huge minutes. The price tag is starting to get up there at 7,300. I don't know if Barrett really gets a ton of ownership at this price point, just because I don't think he's going to really project that well at this salary. But I think the upside's there for Barrett. He's kind of been one of the. He's been the number one guy on offense as of late. Even over Julius Randle, been taking 20 shots a game. I think RJ Barrett is 7,300. Pretty solid play on the slate in the mid range at small forward. And on Yahoo, I do like both RJ Barrett and Karl Anthony Towns over there. Barrett's $25 on Yahoo at small forward. Cat $41 at center. Definitely think you can play both those guys on Yahoo. And then some of the other Knicks. So Evan Fournier 5,500. We kind of know the deal with Evan Fournier. If he can get hot, he has upside. We've seen him put up big games when he's been able to make shots. But there is still a really low floor for Evan Fournier, just because if he's not shooting the ball well, we'll see games where he doesn't play a ton of minutes. We'll see games where he scores 15, 20 Draftkings points. On a 2-game slate, obviously Evan Fournier is viable, but at this point, he is not someone I have much confidence in. We just haven't seen the consistency from Evan Fournier. It seems like once every 2 weeks he has a big game. Could he have a big game here? I guess it's possible, but not a ton of confidence in Evan Fournier. Mitchell Robinson at 5,400. Probably plays around 30 minutes. I'm kind of scared about him guarding Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is a guy that does draw a lot of fouls. Mitchell Robinson is a guy that can pick up fouls and sometimes can get in foul trouble. But at 5,400, Mitchell Robinson's been a more productive player as of late. I think he'd be a fine option to go to at center. Nerlens Noel did not play on Monday. We will need to monitor his status because I think if Nerlens Noel plays, that would definitely lower my interest in Mitchell Robinson. But if Noel remains out, I think Robinson would be fine at 5,400. And then the last guy that I'll mention is Emmanuel Quickley. So Quickley did play a good amount off the bench Monday. Played 29 minutes, was productive, had 29 DK points. His minutes have kind of been all over the place, but I think if Kemba Walker remains out, you'll see Quickley play the backup point guard minutes. He'll probably get some minutes as well alongside Alec Burks. I think he probably projects for low 20s minutes, and if things do go right, he has the potential to play high 20s. 4K, there's not much value on this slate as you can kind of see. So I think a guy like Emmanuel Quickley is someone we can look to for value, assuming Kemba Walker's out again. Now, if Kemba Walker does play today, I would probably be off of Quickley, and I would probably be off of Alec Burks as well. I think those two guys, their viability is going to depend on if Kemba plays or not. But that's it for the Knicks. I think we can go ahead and move on to the next game, talk about the Pistons and the Warriors. So this is a game that, does offer a little bit of blowout potential. Golden State at home here. I'm sure they're big favorites in this game. Still missing Draymond, but they are getting Steph back today. So a little bit of a scary spot, but I think if this game does stay close, like some of these Detroit guys, I mean, we can look to roster today. Cade Cunningham is 7,500. I do like quite a bit as a mid-range guard option. Like him on Yahoo too. If you want to roster Cade over there at shooting guard, he's coming in a little bit cheaper than D'Angelo Russell. I think given the little bit of savings, I do slightly prefer Cade over Russell today. I mean, we know what Cade can do. We know he's a productive player when he's on the floor. The only worry with Cade Cunningham and really rostering any Pistons is that this team just gets blown out a lot. So you'll see a lot of games where Cade doesn't play his full minutes. He might only play like 25, 28 minutes. I know last game he did get into some foul trouble, or not foul trouble, but he got ejected last game. So that's why he only played 25 minutes, but that game wound up blowing out anyway, so I don't think Cade would have played more than like the 25 minutes that he played. But if this game can somehow stay close, like I think Cade Cunningham does offer upside. Golden State's been a really good defensive team this year. I don't want to say it's like the best spot for Cade, but for what it's worth, he did put up 46 DK points in 36 minutes against the Warriors earlier this season. I will mention that a lot of their starters did not play that game. Like that was a day they rested a lot of guys. So Steph was out that day, Draymond was out that day. I think maybe some other guys sat too. But it's a 2-game slate. I think Cade Cunningham at 7,500 looks pretty appealing today. Saddiq Bey and Hamidou Diallo, I'm not as interested in. These guys aren't as good of point per minute players as Cade is, and we've kind of seen, ever since Cade has returned, like it's really hurt the upside and the value on Saddiq Bey. This is a guy that we saw was just crushing every single night while Cade was out, and then ever since Cade has come back, and ever since the Pistons have started to get healthy again, he just hasn't been the same player. So not too interested in Saddiq Bey. Hamidou Diallo, it's kind of the same thing. Like, he just hasn't been the same player that he was whenever, everyone was out. I mean, he was putting up just unreal games, 63 DK points, 71 DK points. Ever since then, it's just been, back to what we saw at the beginning of the season. The minutes haven't been as good for Hamidou Diallo. The price tag's still kind of high. So I'm not too interested in him or Bey. Trey Lyles, Corey Joseph, I don't think really stand out. Like, Corey Joseph's going to come off the bench and play like 25 minutes. Sure, he could put up a good score, but like 5,200, I mean, you're paying kind of the max price for Corey Joseph right now. And the same could be said for Trey Lyles. I mean, Trey Lyles is going to come off the bench, probably play like 24, 25 minutes, but he's 5,100. Like, you're not really getting much of a discount on Trey Lyles either. So don't love those guys that much. And like the last guy that I'll mention, or the two guys I'll mention, so Isaiah Stewart's 4,600. We know he's going to start at center. His minutes have just been all over the place. I mean, you never know what you're getting from Isaiah Stewart. Like, I want to say that the upside is still there for him. We have seen him have some decent games this season. Again, he's going to start, so I think he has a chance to play like 30 minutes if things go right and if the game stays close. I guess he's a viable, cheap option if you want to go there. I don't have a ton of confidence in Isaiah Stewart, but, he's a starter and going to play probably around 30 minutes if it's a close game, so I think he's in play. The guy I do want to talk about, though, for value is Killian Hayes. Now, I literally don't think I've played Killian Hayes all season. I don't think I've rostered him once this season. But on this slate specifically, with the lack of value that we have, like I think Killian Hayes is a pretty decent paydown option. Now, he has not shown much upside at all this season. He doesn't really play a ton of minutes, even though he is a starter, kind of similar to Isaiah Stewart. Like, even though he starts, he probably plays like 30 minutes if it's a close game. But he's 3,800. He projects for around 30 minutes. We don't really have any value on this slate. I mean, I think if Killian Hayes can give us like 25 Draftkings points, like that's probably going to be pretty good. Especially if like some of the studs do well and you have to have the studs to cash, or if you have to have the studs to win the GPP. Like let's say Cat goes for 60 tonight or Steph goes for 70. Like, you're probably going to have one of those guys in your lineup to win a GPP. In order to get those guys in your lineup, you're going to have to play someone cheap. If Killian Hayes gets you 24, 25 points, like that could be good enough. So I think Killian Hayes is a value option, especially due to the lack of value on this slate. He is someone I do have some interest in at 3,800, pretty cheap on DK, and he's minimum salary on Yahoo. So I think if you want to play Killian Hayes over there, minimum salary, he's someone I'd definitely be looking to on both sides. But it's probably it for this Detroit team. We can go ahead and move on to the other side of this game, talk about the Warriors before we do in the video. So Steph Curry, he did sit out there last game. I think it was just kind of for rest purposes. He's back. For this game, he's off the injury report, so Steph at 10,600, I mean, we kind of know the deal with Steph at this point. He has a pretty low floor. We've seen a lot of games this year where Steph only gets like 30, 35 DK points. Obviously, this a game that has some blowout risk, but Steph still offers a big ceiling, and he can go out there and put up 60, 70 DraftKings points any night. I don't really see anyone on the Pistons being able to slow down Steph. So obviously Steph is someone you can go to on the slate. Now I think I prefer Cat just straight up over Steph, which may be a little bit of a hot take. I feel better about Cat's floor. I think Cat has a pretty high ceiling as well. But Steph is obviously viable on a 2-game slate, especially with how few pay-up options we do have today. Andrew Wiggins at 6'7", like I'm not that high on at this price point. He just hasn't been that great with Klay Thompson now, back and playing, more minutes every game. Like it's just taken away from Andrew Wiggins. I think Andrew Wiggins is kind of overpriced. Jordan Poole got priced up a lot for when Steph was out last game. So now that Steph is back, I don't have any interest in Jordan Poole at 6K. If you want to play if this game blows out, maybe Jordan Poole plays more. Sure, I guess, but I don't have a ton of confidence in Jordan Poole at his price point. I think Otto Porter though looks pretty appealing. So Otto Porter has kind of been the guy that's really been benefiting with Draymond Green out. He's been starting in place of Draymond Green, been playing good minutes, but we have seen these last few games have been blowouts. The Chicago game was a blowout. The Minnesota game was a blowout. He was really productive in those games, though. Put up 37 DK points in 19 minutes against the Bulls, put up 36 DK points in 26 minutes against Minnesota. I think if this game does stay close, if Detroit can keep it close, we probably get like 30 minutes from Otto Porter, and he's been a really good point per minute player this year. When he's gotten time on the floor, he has produced at a pretty good rate, does average around a fantasy point per minute. So 5,800, I know that price tag's kind of high, but I mean, there's not a ton of guys that really stand out on the slate. I think everyone, like a lot of guys are overpriced today. You're probably going to have to play some guys that maybe you don't feel great about. I think Otto Porter at 5,800, assuming he's still starting, going to project out as a decent option, and he's someone I do have some interest in as a mid-range power forward on Yahoo at $17 at the power forward position. I think you can definitely play Otto Porter over there. I do like him, a decent amount on both sides. And then the other guys we'll talk about, so like Klay Thompson, 5,500. I mean, can't really roster Klay right now until we see more minutes from him. His minutes have slowly been creeping up. He played 20 minutes in his first 2 games, got 21 minutes the game after that, and then last game against Minnesota, he played 23 minutes. So maybe we get like 24, 25 minutes from Klay today. But at 5,500, like he's just not rosterable until he plays more minutes or until the price tag comes way down. So really no interest in Klay. Kevon Looney, I mean, at 4,900, like I just don't really know how much upside Kevon Looney offers at this price point. He's been rebounding a lot lately. I think Draymond being out has definitely benefited Kevon Looney, especially on the boards. We've seen him get double-digit rebounds in 3 out of his last 5 games. But like he never really plays a ton of minutes. Even if it's a close game, Kevon Looney probably plays like 26 minutes. At 4,900, he's kind of similar to Isaiah Stewart. I think him and Isaiah Stewart are kind of very similar plays. Maybe Kevon Looney projects a little bit better. Maybe Kevon Looney has a little bit of a higher floor. But neither one of those guys like I have much confidence in today. And then the last few guys we'll mention, so like Jonathan Kuminga has just kind of come out of nowhere and has been a pretty decent part of this Warriors rotation as of late. He's been a good piece off their bench lately. He's been playing more minutes. He was getting DNP'd, and then that Milwaukee game he got some blowout run and looked really good. The Bulls game he played 26 minutes, got some blowout run there. One benefit with Kuminga is that I think he will play minutes regardless of if this game stays close or not. I think if the game stays close, Kuminga probably plays like 20 minutes. And if the game does blow out, he could get like close to 30. We saw him play 33 last game against Minnesota. He's been, producing at a pretty good rate lately. His season-long rates have not been good. Like on the season, he's not been a very good point per minute player. But no Draymond, does open up some minutes, and I think Kuminga is going to keep getting these minutes. He's one of their guys they rostered in the first round. I think they rostered him in the first round last year, or drafted him in the first round, I should say. We haven't seen much from Kuminga this season, but he's kind of come on as of late. I think having Draymond out has allowed for Kuminga to get more opportunity, and he's really been performing well. And I think they're going to keep giving him minutes now. 4,300, I think he's a pretty decent value play. If he projects to play like 24, 25 minutes, and even if the game blows out, I think Kuminga would still play in a blowout. So he's definitely someone I do have interest in as a value option. And if you want to take some dart throws on one of the bench guys from Golden State and like hope this game blows out. Like, obviously, a guy like Damian Lee could do well if it blows out. Kuminga, obviously, could do well, too. Usually, though, I don't like to target guys hoping for a blowout. On a 2-game slate, I think it's okay to do that. Just because, like, on 2-game slate, basically any rules you set, basically you need to forget about, like, any rules you set. Like, I normally don't game stack in NBA, but I think on a 2-game slate, like, you can definitely game stack. You can play guys hoping for a blowout. Like, you can just get weird on 2-game slates. And if you're playing, like, large field tournaments, if you're entering this 400K fadeaway with 100K to first and 31,000 entries in it, I mean, you got to get a little weird on a 2-game slate. You don't want to have a duplicated lineup. You want to get some low-owned pieces in your lineup. So, if you want to play a bench guy for Golden State and hope the game gets ugly, and one of these guys plays more minutes, whether it's like Damian Lee or Bielitsa, for sure go for it. But Kuminga, I think, is a pretty good value because he'll get decent minutes if the game stays close, and if the game blows out, he'll play a ton. So I definitely have interest in him at 4,300. But I think that's it for the Warriors, and I think that's it for this little two-game Tuesday slate, guys. So hope you did enjoy the video. I know it's a quicker one, but not too much to talk about with a short slate like this. I know we do have a really big slate on Wednesday, so we'll be back to kind of a normal slate Wednesday. I think we have like 10, 11 games on Wednesday. It might even be 12 games. I can't remember, but yeah, best of luck on this little two-gamer, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button as well. Go check out the sponsor of the video. Go sign up for PrizePicks. Use code NOAH when you do, and PrizePicks will match your first deposit. They will give you a free bet up to $100 when you do sign up with my code. You can take a look at what PrizePicks has to offer. You can make some picks for tonight's NBA games. You can take a look at their board for other sports. Obviously, the NFL playoffs are going on right now, so if you want to take a look at what they have available for the NFL playoffs, we have some big games on Saturday and Sunday, the divisional round. So ton of sports over on PrizePicks. You can mix and match sports. You can win up to 10 extra money. If you do sign up over there, use code NOAH so you get that deposit bonus when you sign up. And if you guys want some of my favorite picks each day on PrizePicks along with the entries I'm playing myself, that's available all on Patreon. Link down below in the description. But best of luck on this Tuesday two-game slate, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.